So yeah, I'm Bryan Conzone. I'm the founder and software engineer behind CarNinja. And so CarNinja is a software company based in Orange County, California. And for the past 7 years, we've been developing software for mainly dealers and automotive businesses. So we've been the guys behind the scenes. So whether it was like inventory management, CRM solutions, managing websites, and kind of helping businesses market themselves online, that's what we've been doing. Although here with SEMA and the YAN is actually our launch of our first consumer application, which is CarNinja Vendors. And actually, this wasn't initially scheduled to launch until second quarter of next year. But after hearing about this competition and making it here today, it's actually pushed us forward so it actually launches this year about 4 months ahead of time. So what is CarNinja Vendors? Our goal of CarNinja Vendors is how many people have ever had a problem finding a local automotive company? Whether it was just like you need to change your brakes, you need to get an oil change, you have to find someone that's reputable and trusted in your area. Or if you're modifying cars, where can you go to get suspension work done, performance, exhaust, and who can you trust? And so that's kind of one of the goals that we're trying to solve, is how can you find these vendors and what are the best deals that you can get from them? I forgot I had a clicker. So, it's CarNinja Vendors. So I want to tell you a story about myself. So I had the same problem. A couple years ago, our company, we got an E92 M3, and of course, what's one of the first things we want to do is modify it. And so our question was, well, where do we go? And so we had a constant frustration of, we don't know what companies to work with, and we just recently moved to California, so who do we use? And so we realized that there's typically 3 different problems that people have, and where they go to find these solutions. So one, if you're in the automotive space and you're an enthusiast, you can find a lot of information on forums. The only problem with forums is you end up spending a lot of time searching through them and digging them. So you have the professionals that know the answers, but most people don't end up using them. And also, it's not used by general consumers. So how could we get this information to them? The second thing is online review sites. So most of you guys know of like Yelp, Google, Yahoo, and Bing. Although, when using most of them, they're not very highly specialized searches. And so if you were just looking, you can go and find an auto mechanic, but if you specifically said, hey, I have a problem, I have subframe damage on my M3, well, where do I go? And so what ends up happening is most people end up going directly to the dealers. And also, it's a very wide range of verticals. If you're on Yelp, you've got, there's fitness, you have restaurants, it's not automotive focused, it's just a subset. In the third place, fellow enthusiasts and friends. So if you have a network of friends, you typically ask them. So, hey, where did you get your BMW service? Where did you get your Toyota service? But that's also limited to how many people you know in the space. So if I happen to have a BMW and all my friends have like Toyotas and Hondas, they can't help me out that much. And so that's the third problem. So no, this is not the solution that we want to find. So CarNinja Vendors combines the best of forums, which is you have professional, expert knowledge that's usually not available to the consumer. You've got personalized reviews and a feedback loop as far as what places are good, which ones aren't. And now it's not just your own personal network of friends, it's everyone's friends collectively helping you figure out where to go. And that's Vendors. So this is our first public showing of what Vendors is. But this is kind of how our idea is of how you could go and search for vendors in the future. And so you can search for everyone from nationwide or local. You can go from basic listings. So if you just want to find a place to, again, get your oil change, get your brakes done, no problem. If you want to find a performance shop, those are on there as well. And so the idea here is the 3 different sections are, this is how you could come here and actually see the different vendors and what they're about. So CarNinja Vendors showcases the best automotive vendors and allows them to uniquely tell their stories, as well as locally being able to find the best deals from what you're running on. The other problem is most of the other sites, such as Yelp, you have these like tiny thumbnails. You can't really see it, and cars are very visual. And so you want to get a better idea of what's actually in these builds and learn more about the companies. And so we allow you to do, for instance, like GMG Motorsports, which is one of our vendors. You can come on here and see, who are they? Who's using them? Why are they trusted? Why did they start their company, and why was this their passion? and as well as helping connect them to everywhere they already are online, such as like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And it also allows them to showcase their builds. So the builds are like they might work on race cars, or it's a wrap shop. The idea is like, say you're getting your vehicle wrapped. You can't just go to a place like Yelp and see a couple tiny photos and understand how well the quality is. And so the idea here is you can actually get high quality content to really showcase what these guys are passionate about. So here's a sample of kind of a build page. So if you went on there and wanted to look for a specific vehicle that was being looked at, they can write up full profiles and images and everything that they have. So in my case, I ended up spending, when we did our build, we ended up spending months searching and trying to find the right parts. And eventually, after the end of about 4 months, we found all these different companies that we worked with. But the problem was it was very, very difficult to actually find them. And secondly, after we've actually found them and put them into our build, like, how can we share them with all of you? Someone else out there might have a similar car and be interested in using the same stuff. And so how can you actually connect to them? And so this allows me, if I was using it, to put it out there so everyone can basically save 4 months of time in this case. And you immediately have access to what I used. So the last part is on the vendor side as well, how do you know it's working? So you're a vendor, you're using our system. So we have tracking on the back end. And so the idea is that we can, when you log in, you can see what users are engaging with your content. And what do they like the most? What are the images that they want to see more of? And so I'm actually happy to say, like, our goal for the end of December was to get 100 different vendors on. And as of coming to SEMA, in the past 3 weeks, we've signed up 87 vendors. And the past 2 days of being here, we have crossed our 100 mark, which was the initial cap that we were going to set for the entire year. So the private launch of this actually launches next week, which is available. And so we're actually running the same, any additional vendors that are out there that are interested in showcasing their work, we're still leaving it open until the end of SEMA. And so you can actually go online to vendors.carninja.com, whether you're a consumer or a vendor right now, and you can request an invite. And that'll be available until this Sunday. And so why it's closed initially is we want to get feedback of automotive enthusiasts. What do you like about this? What don't you like about it? How is it helping you find something or not? What's additional information? And as well as vendors, what else can you do to kind of help your customers? And that's CarNinja Vendors. Do you guys have any questions?
Not yet. Hey, don't get ahead of yourself now. I know.